Because you are not racking the numbers, because people don't know your name, because you are not on every other event and all of that. Like, you are not flamboyant out there, that you might not be doing so good. Oh, you can put in the hard work and everybody knows you. You can put in the hard work and your brand sells. You can put in the hard work but if that is not your purpose, you would always be feeling like something is missing. You will feel emptier. It would pull you further and further and further and further away from God. Oh, you didn't, and me feeling, oh, you don't like my post. I don't want to be in that bubble. I don't want to be in that headspace. It doesn't do anything for me. You can become relevant to the right ecosystem by just walking in God's purpose for your life. If you build only for relevance, you will constantly chase. But if you build for purpose, God will sustain it. Will you tell yourself the truth, or should I? Because if you are going to be honest, like I have been in my own creative journey, you would admit that we go into this whole circle of wanting to be relevant, wanting to be important, wanting to be recognized in the society, appreciated in our communities, proving our worth to the body of Christ or somebody. Yeah. So much that we are addicted to numbers, visibility, growth, and somehow getting farther and farther away from God. Hello, if you are seeing me for the first time, my name is Jasmine Housenwright Ekuma, and over here on this side of the internet, I just want to inspire you to walk in God's purpose for your life by being your ultimate best self as God has created. I promise you, we are not perfect here, but we are striving daily to walk with God so that He perfects us through total surrender to His ultimate will. If this sounds like the community of purpose that you would love to be in, please, I'm welcoming you to subscribe. Yes, turn on that notification. Share this to someone else who you believe needs to hear something like this, needs to be reminded about their purpose and just reminded that they are absolutely worth it in life and valid. If you watch this video and it resonates, please don't forget to like. But to my Jazz, hi! Again, it's absolutely lovely to be here. Please let me know if the last video blessed you. Mama's in the house, yeah. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to put it up here. Please click this video. I hope you're still sharing it with mothers, as women who believe in family, as women who believe in kingdom expansion. But this conversation is not just for my mothers in the house. It's not just for moms. It's for every creative woman, every creative, to be honest. If this video falls on your lap, literally, because what is this thing about being relevant, and how is it really affecting us as a body, as Christians, as Christian creatives? In 2025, I deleted my Instagram account. 2025, that's last year, I deleted my Instagram account. And I didn't just delete it, to be quite frank. I had a lead-in. I had the instruction to delete my Instagram account. I didn't know yet, but God helped me through my journey with Him and just pulling back at the beginning of the year to realize that there was a part of me that sought validation from my Instagram page, from my social handles, that believed in the relevance that I had garnered from that platform, as an actor, as a creative in the film industry. I had done movies, I had collaborated with people, I had a relationship with film personnel in the film industry. It just did something to my creative ego, I guess, or just, maybe not my creative ego, but just put me in a comfortable place or comfortable thought in my head about where I was in my creative. There was still much more to acquire. There's still much more growth. But nothing as God told me to delete my Instagram account, that I really understood that, no, there's a little bit of an attachment there. Because tell me why I heard delete, and instead of delete, what I did first was deactivate.
To be direct, don't go through the corners.
You know. Let me just see. Maybe it's not really delete you're talking about. And don't get me wrong, I also was in agreement with the Holy Spirit at this time because, like I said, I was in a silent period where I was refining. I was like, it was like there was a lot of filtering going on in my space. So I was conscious, I was sensitive to what was going on in my environment. But deleting an account that on that account I had done a competition, I had won. That account gave me some level of credibility as an actor. If I delete that account, where do I start from again? It's like, let me be very sure. So I deactivated it. And eventually I still heard that pressing to delete it. And I knew that there is an attachment to not the page, but what the page was doing in my headspace. There was a comfort zone, there was a level of confidence, shoulder pad that part of my life had put on me that was also weighing me down because it was my work portfolio, it was my relationship value metric, my sense of worth and validation to an extent. I was losing myself. I felt like I was in a bubble of noise. I knew there was so much more that God was speaking to me about. I knew there was a direction He was trying to lead me in, but I could not steward in that direction because it was like, what if? Perception of people, the identity I had created in this space. God is telling me, focus on your YouTube channel. And it's like, but my YouTube channel, I'm going to be speaking about what exactly? My personal journey, and I believe at this point too, yes, I was also pregnant. So it's like, am I going to focus on motherhood? What does that make me look like as a creative? Am I just going to be this actor that all of a sudden is carrying mommy things on her head? I don't want to look like that. Just so much. Just so much. It was all of this, and yet it was still making me feel more empty. Even lost on purpose. It was making me feel lost on purpose. I couldn't quite place my hand on it, but I was in that environment, in that season, still shouting purpose. I was still about the life of purpose. I felt like I understood it because I did understand it, but I was not ready to grab the bull by the horn and just move. It's like Abraham when God says, leave all that you know and go to a land that I will show you. The most daring thing ever. Leave all that you know. He didn't leave when he was a kid or a teenager. He was grown. He was a grown man. He had family. This was what he knew. And God said, up and go to where I'll show you. And until he upped and went, we didn't start seeing his journey with God in the way that it expanded for other people, for the lots, for everybody. He had to leave that comfort zone. He had to not be so sure, but no longer depend on who he was there, the relevance that he had there, and become unknown. That's literally what happened to me when I deleted this social media platform. It's like I was starting from unknown. What holding on to what I didn't even know was my idea of relevance through my platforms was it made me act in rebellion. God is saying, do this thing, go a certain way. I cannot obey or obey fully. Rebellion. No complete surrender to God, to just His will in my life. And I would keep saying it at that time. And I knew better than that, but it was like it took me a process to get to that complete surrender. It crippled me because of the perception of people, the unknown, and how I probably interpret it or explain it to people. Would I need to explain it to people? And oddly, I could swear to anyone that I was not that kind of person. I didn't care about that. But a lot of times, until you sit still with God, until you pull back, you can't see the truth about yourself. You keep thinking that all is fine, or you keep blaming other people. But until you pull back, then you start saying, no, I have quite an attachment to this thing, or this thing is consuming my own journey as a creative, walking with God. Because remember that it's not a system that favors the world. We are in the world, but we're not of it. We belong to the creative side of heaven expressing itself here on earth. So the rules don't apply to everybody. the rules don't apply to the world. You see, relevance sounds like people are paying attention to me. This is trending. Let me tap into it. I need to stay seen. It is rooted in perception. It is driven by demand. It's seasonal and is measured by metrics and numbers. It takes you further away from God because He applauds noise and then it's constantly shifting. But what purpose sounds like? First of all, purpose is rooted in God. It's rooted in identity. God's identity, the identity He's forming with you, in you, through you. And it is steady. Purpose does not require applaud or validation from people to be fulfilled. Purpose is your why. And no matter how many people come and go, it deeply satisfies. It kind of sounds like, this is what I'm going to do. It sounds like I love to show up. It sounds like this. I'm here with no light at home, knowing that I have to show up as promised every other week. And I don't feel constrained in that limitation. I love to be here. I'm happy to be here. And there is no audience in sight. It's just me and my camera talking to the person that will be listening to this when this uploads. Purpose does not need quick validation, quick applause, a reason already. It has a reason, but it's ingrained already inside. So it doesn't need a reason tomorrow, another reason tomorrow, another. It's there. The reason affects the decisions you make. On the other hand, relevance, the decisions you make affects the reason you show up, affects how you show up, affects your why. So fast forward to 2026 and I started posting. I started a new page completely. I started posting with a level of audacity and not complete total clarity, but it didn't matter because now I'm starting organically. There's no audience to be conscious of. Every follow feels like you decided to follow me because possibly value. Because I'm not racking any numbers now. There's hardly a lot of history from where I'm coming from what I've done or what I haven't done on my new page. Everything is what I am building. So it's very fresh and very new. So you either follow because you believe or basically, to be honest, I don't even believe anyone will be following me now just because they know me. Because the world is really about who are you, what do you have, how many follow accounts, all of that good stuff. And I love it for me where I am because now I know anybody who hits follow, they mean it. I'm also able to not care that my reason for following would affect somebody or not. I'm not in a place where my social media is now a connection as per we met the other day, so let's exchange handles. My page has a purpose right now. So I don't follow because, and it's not pride. It's just because I also know where I'm going to. I know what I want to see. I like you in real life, but I might not exactly key into your platform, what your social media is about. It doesn't have to be bad. It just doesn't align with my own. So I don't want the algorithm to think that, okay, it's a mix up here. No, I want that alignment and an audaciousness for my own self because my purpose has started affecting everything around me. It started curtailing, streamlining, fine-tuning, adjusting, trimming. It's beautiful. It's not fast. It's not the fast lane. It's not speedy. It's not instant. But it's rewarding. It's fulfilling. It's satisfying. Knowing that you can be purposeful and not relevant. But when I say relevant, it's even still relative because it's like relevant on the scale of blowing up. I want to blow. I want to be known. I want my hustle to pay. No. I feel like as long as you are working in purpose, you will be relevant. You don't have to blow up. You don't have to be out there with the numbers, with the stars, like on top of the world. But you will be making such an impact. You'll be relevant to the spaces you're called to. You'll be relevant to the kingdoms you're called to. You'll be relevant to the people, the causes that you're called to. you can't not be relevant walking in purpose. However, you can chase relevance and be empty and not feel satisfied and not be purposeful. You can put in the hard work and everybody knows you. You can put in the hard work and your brand sells. You can put in the hard work but if that is not your purpose, you would always be feeling like something is missing. You will feel emptier. It would pull you further and further and further and further away from God. I promise you, that's not a life that you, with intentionality, with a burden in your heart, with a purpose that God has given you, should want to chase. I stepped out of wanting to be relevant, or maybe not even wanting, because I never really wanted to be relevant. I stepped out of the chains of being comfortable in relevance, and I stepped into a higher alignment with God and with His will for my own life. And this is why I'm here. This is why I'm recording. This is why I'm on my YouTube more. In fact, as of right now, I've deleted my Instagram again. Well, not deleted it, but I have removed it from my phone because it became a chore. It became something I was reporting to. Why? Because I was not called there directly. If I am able to answer to the call where I am called to, be dedicated, be intentional, be obedient here, then the fruits of here can spill to my Instagram and I would enjoy it. But I was just, content creation, creating, keep that page, just pour. I was doing routines and sending. But I would still be in the bubble where I'm seeing, oh, you didn't, and me feeling, oh, you don't like my post. I don't want to be in that bubble. I don't want to be in that headspace. It doesn't do anything for me. That humanity, I want it dead. That human reason, I want it dead. What does it matter if someone is not able to applaud me anymore? They are not for me. They are not for my journey. And the beauty is that in this not really known place, I'm winning. In my personal life, I'm winning. With my family, I'm winning. God is rewarding. Things are happening behind the scenes. And I'm satisfied. Somebody would think that, because you are not racking the numbers, because people don't know your name, because you are not on every other event and all of that, like you are not flamboyant out there, that, you might not be doing so good. Oh, that couldn't be a better lie. My family is growing. I'm growing. We're building. We're increasing. And these things are connected to obedience. They're connected to obeying God in the not so clear, in the mundane, in purpose, in His will, and not chasing the applaud of man. And then He's blessing, He's rewarding, He's increasing. Let me tell you something. You can become relevant to the right ecosystem by just walking in God's purpose for your life. Relevance then becomes a tool and not a target. If you build only for relevance, you will constantly chase. But if you build for purpose, God will sustain it. So, what is my tip for you today so you do not lose God trying to sustain relevance? It's simple. Pull back. Be still. Silence the noise for a while. I'll be very direct. For you, mama, young lady, woman of ambition, it might be deleting that handle, the one that takes your attention the most. It might not be on Instagram. It might be TikTok. It might, I can bet it can never be YouTube. But what do I know? If it's YouTube, if it's social media as a whole, because you already know where God is calling you, I dare tell you that if you can remove the distraction and just sit, you will start to hear. You will start to understand. You will start to have clarity. And then you'll be able to obey step by step and have audacity step by step and then become confident. And you start seeing your audience. Let me also point something. Even if it is what God has called you to do, You can take what God is calling you to do and become the director of that whole program. You can start fighting for relevance in what God has even given you to do. So my advice is, even if it is the purpose that God has for you in your life, hand it back to Him. Let Him direct you. Stop trying to save it. I've been there. And He took it off my hand. That was my first lesson that I never want to go back again to. God can save what He has given you to do. God can save it. You can't. I mean, I'm still an actor, but I'm in a season of my life where I know what His direction is saying. I know that in that aspect, there's a stillness, and I'm surrendering myself to it. I'm applying myself to it. I'm not chasing. Like, I have had the opportunities to try, but I get it. I'm someone who really understands my process. Nobody can confuse me. So I'm still. When there's a release again, I would know. I'll be sensitive enough to pick up my shoes and run. Right now, the direction that I'm in, it means pouring into my baby. It means pouring into women, creators, creatives, mothers, first-time moms, modern moms, young moms, people like me that are also still on the journey of finding out, discovering, getting to the destination. But with every step that I am ahead, I'm passing that knowledge back. I'm passing that ladder back. So I'll leave you with this. What if your low visibility is God protecting you? Are you building a brand that God asks for and He will reward? Or are you building a brand that people will applaud and has no substance, no real substance? Are you missing God because you are chasing relevance in the world? I'll see you next week. Please catch up on the other videos. I love you. Mika! No! Man's affirmation, and then it constantly shifts. Please, can you open the window back? Yes, when you pass, please open it back. Thank you.